Lake listeners, thank you for coming back for more of Season 3 with the Grow, Thrive, Inspire podcast. Today we are excited to have another Community Spotlight episode highlighting a dynamic duo with First State Bank Mortgage through First State Bank of St. Charles, Missouri. With over 17 years of experience together in the lending industry and numerous awards like the Bagnell Dam Association of Realtors Affiliate of the Year Award, it is safe to say that they are experts within their field. It is my pleasure to welcome Michael and Michelle Lasson to the show today. Michael and Michelle, thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited to talk about First State Bank Mortgage and lending as a whole. It's kind of hard to say that fast, First State Bank Mortgage.
Well, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Michael and Michelle, let's just start with you just telling us about yourselves and kind of where you found the passion to do what you do.
We've been in the business, since about 2001 is when we actually got into the business. She started a little earlier in the year, and I went towards the end of the year, and then it just worked from there. But one of the things that we together went through was we bought our own first house. Okay. So when we bought our own first house, we 24 hours before closing, the mortgage company that we chose to do business with, which was way out of this area, but we didn't know. We didn't know any better. We chose somebody out of Columbia, Missouri, because we met them at a trade show.
Oh, okay.
So, but anyway, 24 hours prior to closing, they added another point to our closing costs. They changed the fee structure right the day before closing. So we had to come up with another point, which was about $950, which we didn't have. We were young. We were trying to start our families. We were broke.
Yeah.
So I had to borrow money off my dad, and back then they didn't care where the money came from. It just had to be in your account.
Right.
And you had to be able to bring the closing. And then when we get to the closing, it was just a terrible experience with our lender. It was a terrible experience with the title company at the time, which they're out of business as well. But it was just a terrible experience. And I had an opportunity to get into the business, which she went into it first. And then we decided that it would be something for me to try. And I did. And one of my biggest things was not to make my borrowers have to go through what we went through. It was terrible. It was emotional. It was just a wreck. We didn't like it. So anyway, we got in the business, and that was our passion, is to make it as smooth as possible. Well, with regulations changing, obviously that's changed because the regulations have gotten tougher over the years. When we first got in the business, if you had a pulse and a 640 credit score, we got you a loan up to $1 million, no questions asked. Didn't have to verify anything.
Right.
Obviously, that has changed. So
yeah.
But the reason we got in is just to do well, to help people achieve their dream of home ownership.
That's awesome. And Michelle, he said that you got into lending first. Where did you kind of find your passion?
I worked previously for a title company and a real estate attorney for several years, and I was actually working in Jefferson City, and he didn't like it because we didn't have lunch together every day. So one of his clients had a mortgage company, and he got me hired on down there, and I just basically started from the bottom and worked my way all on the way up.
Wow, that's awesome. So can you tell us more about just First State Bank Mortgage?
Their main office is in St. Charles. They've been in business since 1867.
Oh, wow.
So they're a long-standing bank. They have a great reputation, and they're a great company to work for and to bank with and do business with in the lending side. We have a great team. They're very people-oriented, from employees to customers to everything. So they've got locations in St. Charles, all over the St. Louis area, Overland Park, Lee Summit. Down here at the lake, we have our mortgage center, and then also in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you're kind of everywhere. So that's good to know.
And being with a bank, we're licensed in all 50 states. So we're able to help our clients purchase their home here at Lake of the Ozarks and refinance out of the area or purchase another home out of the area. Mm-hmm. We do that quite often, help people after they bring our clients here. We help them purchase a home in another part of the country.
No, Michael, you were previously with a different mortgage company before First State Bank? Correct?
Yes. Well, the First State Bank of St. Charles purchased the mortgage division from Premier Bank. Michelle and I both worked for Premier Bank.
Oh, okay.
That's where we started our transition in the banking side of mortgage lending. The gentleman that hired me hired both of us March of 2006. Well, April of 10, Premier Bank sold us to First State Bank of St. Charles. So
Oh, okay.
I still work for the same guy that hired me. He runs our mortgage division.
That's awesome.
So since 2006. And so Premier Bank was a great community real estate bank. And, when in 2008, 2009, when things kind of went south with the lending institutions, Premier Bank got caught in some of that. They didn't do anything wrong. Just, we had several loans that just...
I think all banks kind of went through that at that time,
correct,
for sure.
right.
I know that, like, during that time, I personally myself went right into banking myself, and I was in banking for 8-9 years, so I definitely remember all of that going down.
It was a tough time, but since First State Bank of St. Charles made our First State Bank mortgage division, it's just been wonderful. It's just been wonderful. They really know what they're doing. I mean, from underwriting to processing and everything we need to be successful to get our buyers or borrowers to closing on time.
Well, I want to dive deeper into the lending side right now. So what are you guys experiencing with lending in such a hot market here at Lake of the Ozarks?
Obviously, it's busy, and having what we call delegated underwriting or we underwrite our own files. We don't have to send them anywhere to be underwritten.
That's nice.
That makes our process smoother, faster. Also gives the opportunity for us to give, a little bit better than market rates to our clients. Mm-hmm. So that helps keep the business going forward. Right. The underwriting is a very advantageous situation to us because we're able to help our client get to the closing table faster because we start the process up front knowing what we need. We're not delayed because we have to send it to an underwriting company. We underwrite our own files. My company does. It's
That's
all done
awesome.
Throughout our network. So,
what else are you kind of looking at with lending as a whole? Are you guys seeing any trends, anything that maybe consumers might find interesting?
The Dodd-Frank Act created a lot of change in the mortgage industry, on the mortgage side and the real estate side. But we had to change a lot of what we do. Right now, basically, we have to prove that our clients have the ability to repay the loan. Sounds simple enough, okay? But sometimes it just isn't that simple. We really take a hard look at a person's finances and their overall being of financial status. Mm-hmm. From credit score to debt ratios, reserves, bank account assets, all of that has a play into how fast and if we can get to a closing table with that. So the regulations, I should say, have gotten tougher over the years. So the trends now, we have the ability, like I said, we underwrite our files, so that gives us a leg up. Mm-hmm. You're seeing it's just busy and values have gone up. Mm-hmm. I'm at a loss of what to say, what some of the trends are. But with us, we also have to rotate appraisers per federal regulations. So we have a strong group of appraisers that we do business with. We don't do business with everyone at the lake area, but we have a solid core of who we do business with because of their work ethics and their costs and everything. So we and same with the title companies. We have a group of title companies that we use specifically because they help us get to the closing table in a timely manner.
I love that. So what services are you kind of currently offering to your consumers? Are there any particular loans that are really helpful right now? Anything that you guys are offering specifically?
We can offer any type of loan, conforming, government. We're delegated underwriting for VA, so that helps our borrowers too. But we also have a portfolio where if you don't fit inside the box, we can look at it, and if you're a strong candidate, then our bank is willing to put you on our books, basically.
That's really nice, yeah.
So we have a lot of flexibility with different portfolio programs as well as to what we can offer.
Oh, okay. Do you guys consider yourself to have a specialty or a niche with any of your services?
I think we do very well with the conventional fixed financing that we do. And in the second home market, it's very important to have, pardon me, it's important to have the ability to close a conventional loan in a condo it's a specific way to close a loan or to process a loan with a condo versus a house.
Oh, okay.
And so we do quite a bit of condo loans, and we also have the non-conforming or the jumbo loans. We do quite a few of those. So I'd say, specialties are, the condos and the jumbos.
That's really interesting.
Right, but I mean, we also offer the full gamut of conventional financing.
Okay, awesome.
One of the other things that's unique about us as we've been in the business together as a team for 20 years, so you don't have to just try to call one loan officer. Mm-hmm. If you can't get a hold of Michael, you can get a hold of me because we both know what's going on with all the files. Mm-hmm. Our processor Tony is phenomenal, and if you can't get a hold of either one of us, she knows what's going on with the files. So it's neat because you can call and get a hold of us almost any time of the day. I mean,
well, and I love that about you guys, the fact that you're such a dynamic duo and you both have a hand in everything that's going on. So it makes the consumer experience, I'm sure, very, just awesome and top notch. So that's great.
And we're not your typical banker. We don't stop off the clock at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or on Friday. We're working Saturdays, Sundays, after hours. It's just what we do.
That's great.
Yeah, I have the ability to work wherever I'm at. As long as I have internet, I could do my job fully functional.
So you're always available for questions, mm-hmm. and that's awesome. Can you tell us kind of what your opinion is of the market here at the lake, and maybe what you're excited about as far as seeing how it's going to transition into maybe next year?
I love the growth. I love the growth of the Lake of the Ozarks in the sense of you have all kinds of people from outside the area coming to our lake and making it their full-time homes. They're retiring here. I love the fact that we have new condominium projects coming out throughout the lake area. It's been several years since we've had those, and to see those popping back up is great.
Yeah, we definitely needed more of them.
I mean, like every market, housing is short here. We need more housing, and it's coming. The developments are great. That's exciting. To see the commercial businesses come to the Lake of the Ozarks is exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. Is there anything that would maybe help First State Bank Mortgage right now, or your guys' office, anything like that?
Something that I think, and a lot of borrowers don't realize, is it's not only helping us, but it's helping them to get pre-approved for your loan mm-hmm. before you start looking at properties, because they're going so fast down here right now mm-hmm. that if you don't have a true pre-approval, you're losing out because somebody's going to walk in with cash. And we have a program set up where we can literally underwrite your borrower's file mm-hmm. completely, minus title work and appraisal. And then that's all we're waiting on. And you go to a seller and say, hey, look, I am approved. I just need to find a property and get an appraisal on it and get the title work done. They're going to be more apt to take your offer as opposed to somebody that's got to sell another property or wait for
absolutely
financing. So this market's it's on fire right now, and I love it. Last year about wore us all out, but it's a good thing. And I just think if the borrowers and the realtors helped push them to make sure they get everything that we're asking for so we can get you underwritten and get you approved. Mm-hmm. It goes a whole lot faster.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Are you guys able to tell us or tell our listeners kind of what they need for that pre-approval, like what they need to come in with?
Every scenario is different.
Oh, okay.
Every person is different. So the generics, a month of paycheck stubs, 2-month bank statements, your current ID, asset statements. Some we may need tax returns, some we don't. So our systems are very well set up the way our department is running. They go to my website, they fill out an application. After they type all their information in and then they hit submit, the application is reviewed by the automated system and it will tell them exactly what they need.
Oh, nice.
So it's tasks you have to complete. You got to complete the task. It'll say, you need 2 years tax returns, please upload those. And then you just upload them right into our system. So it's right in the file. When I get in the file, all that stuff is already there.
Oh, wonderful.
So that helps tremendously. And that, in my opinion, has what's helped me tremendously the last 2 years that we've been using this system.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's just phenomenal. So I still tell people after I review everything, hey, this is what I'm still waiting on. And then when Michelle and Tony get the file, they also tell the client what we're still needing. Mm-hmm. What we do is we ask for everything up front. If the system asks for everything, great. if the system didn't ask for everything because maybe the client didn't type something in properly, then I ask for it. We ask for it all right away, so there's no hiccups. We're closing our loans 25 to 30 days consistently. We do not ever make someone wait 45 days. Now, in the perfect world, as long as the client gets us what we need right away, then we're fine. If we're waiting on, almost anything, it could delay a closing. And the realtors have been great where they tell the clients, hey, Mike and Michelle need this. We're waiting on this. It's going to delay your closing if we don't get it. And it could be as simple as a bank statement.
Right.
But it's needed. I don't ask for it unless we need it. Our system doesn't ask for it unless it's needed. The self-employed, the scrutiny is a little tough, but we just got to get through it. We need tax returns from personal and business. And, you're allowed to write a lot of things off on your tax returns. Well, what you tell the IRS you make for a living, that's what we have to use.
Absolutely,
So we're governed by certain things that we have to do. Now, and that's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines. On our portfolio side, we do make exceptions. But again, on the portfolio side, we have to limit the risk to the bank. That's my job, is to limit the risk to the bank.
Absolutely.
Period.
And that's what you would basically recommend to any of our listeners listening. If you're interested in applying with you guys, just visit the website then and start there. That way they get all their ducks in a row, which is really nice.
My website is www.yourlakeloan.com. And that's a company page. I own the yourlakeloan.com, but right now it's forwarded to a company page. Okay. So all of our disclosures are on that page, but there's a section that says apply now, and it just puts it right into the company software. So, it's really, really good what we do. But the biggest thing is with your clients and listeners, you want them to be ready. You want them to be prepared to write an offer, and that means get a pre-approval done.
Well, I want to transition to some of our listeners right now, just being real estate agents as a whole. Is there anything or any advice that you would give to our real estate agents here at the Lake to help service their clients as far as a lending level?
The biggest thing is just communication with all parties, and the realtors are really good about that. Just keep us in the loop of what's going on. If an amendment changes something, make sure we get it. If there's going to be a delay, make sure we know it, because we're locked in. Our loan lock has expiration dates. We have to close it by a certain date once we're locked in.
Absolutely.
And if we don't, then the bank loses money, and we may pass that on to the consumer. It just really depends. And the realtors are doing a great job. Continue telling the buyers, get your lender what they need, and don't answer lending questions. Refer those to the lenders, because the rules change so drastically. I'm not saying the realtor doesn't know what they're doing, but the rules are changing so fast. We need to be able to give the consumer proper guidance on the loan process. Do you have anything to add to that?
Ask questions. If you're in doubt, ask questions. And we're great about, even if we're not the lender and you have a question, call us.
Absolutely.
We don't mind helping
Absolutely.
at all. We're all on the same team. Doesn't matter who you are. And our goal is to get the buyer in their new property.
Well, just to throw another question in here before I kind of transition you guys into some fun questions, but I'm sure a lot of listeners are wondering, and I don't know if you guys are at liberty to say or not, but what are you predicting as far as maybe rate changes? I know that they're probably going to go up a little bit, but we're not looking at like astronomical.
No, and we follow a lot of the statistics and what the National Association of Mortgage Brokers or National Association of Mortgage Bankers put out. We're members of all that, so we watch all that stuff. We get bombarded with information, and it is hard to predict. Okay, a year ago we were told that the bottom's going to flop out and we're going to be 5%. Well, we're not at 5%, and I'm talking of 30-year fixed money. Where depending on the client, right now I'm at 2.75-ish, could be a little lower for a client for a 30-year
awesome.
fix. And that's still really good, historically low rates. There's a lot of experts in the field. There's a lot of people trying to do what they have to do to keep the mortgage interest rates low. We're battling inflation. We're battling a lot of different things. We're battling the COVID. We're battling the fear of unknown. The fear of unknown because of COVID and other things with the economy was driving rates low. Well, things started improving with, we found vaccines and a lot of other things. Businesses started opening up, consumer confidence started changing, therefore our rates started going up because things were changing. Well, no one knows what's happening. right now. My personal predictions, I think we're going to stay relatively close to where we are right now, give or take maybe a half a point over the next,
That's encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I personally can't imagine that the world would stop because mortgage interest rates made it happen. Meaning, if rates went up 3 points, that would stop everything.
Right.
And I just can't imagine that the powers to be would allow this to happen.
I agree.
And a lot of it's political.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, political drives a lot of things in our country, and mortgage rates and consumer confidence is one of them.
Okay. Well, I like that answer. Okay, just a couple fun questions for
Okay.
you guys as we wrap this up. What would you say is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of the job is I love all of our borrowers, but taking a brand new home buyer who's never owned a home in their life and walking them through the steps of getting into their first home.
Oh, I love that.
That's super exciting for me because they listen to you. We know the steps they have to take. If they've got great credit and they qualify now, great. Or if they don't and there's things they've got to do and 6 months from now we help them. That's my favorite part because I see the joy on their face. I mean, I love people coming down to the lake for anything, but helping new home buyers is one of my favorite parts.
And then when you get the first time second home buyer, those are so excited. They may be close to retirement, they may not be. They may be, middle aged and they're ready to own a lake home. They're ready to do something different. So they come to us, they come to you, and they want to buy a house. And Realtors sends them to us. We get them pre-approved, ready to go. And buying their first, second home is exciting. And just seeing, when people are getting ready to retire, they have their kids and their grandkids are going to start coming to their lake home. So that's just a lot of fun getting to that point, the closing.
Oh, I could imagine, yeah. Okay, so just some rapid fire for fun. What is one of your favorite places for dinner and drinks here at Lake of the Ozarks?
I like Baxter's.
And Wobbly Boots.
And Wobbly
Ooh,
Boots.
I love Wobbly
I
Boots,
would
too.
agree.
Their potato soup is so good in the
Yes.
wintertime. Oh my gosh.
I would agree.
What is something that not a lot of people know about the two of you?
I'm a Cubs fan. I grew up
I'm
outside
not.
of Chicago. She is not. She grew up in
I'm a
Evansville,
Cardinals
Indiana.
fan. So it makes life interesting at our house. We are truly a house divided when it comes to
Yeah.
baseball.
We have a flag. She ordered me a flag, and then half the flag is a Cardinals logo. The other half of the flag is a Cubs logo.
Oh, I love that.
When they play each other, we hang it up.
I am not a house divided when it comes to baseball, but I'm a house divided with football, so I completely understand.
Well, being from Chicago, I'm kind of a Bears fan. I am a Bears fan, but how can you live here and not be a Chiefs fan? I mean, seriously.
I'm probably one of the biggest Chiefs fans out there, and then my significant other, he is a total Green Bay fan.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it is a house divided.
So yeah, the Bears and Green Bay, they're rivalries. So.
Yep. So when you are not working, what do both of you like to do for fun?
We camp quite a bit. 9 years ago, we bought our first camper, and we've upgraded every year since. And we have a pretty big camper right now that
Good
takes.
for you guys.
So, I mean, we're actually set up for this weekend to be camping, but we had to come back to work Friday. I like to set up on Thursday just because no one's there, and I get to set up and back up and make mistakes and whatnot. But we love to camp. And we have an upcoming family vacation that we're going to take everyone to Florida on. So we love to spend time with the grandkids, a lot of time with the grandkids, and camp.
Yeah,
So-
we camp a lot too. It's great, and there's tons of really cool places around the Lake of the Ozarks for camping, so it makes it really cool.
And what's great is the grandkids can come out. We have 9 of them, so
congratulations.
they can come out and stay, or they can come out and visit for a couple hours, or
we
don't-
can load them up on sugar and send them home.
Yep, there you go. Well, Grow, Thrive, Inspire listeners, we could not be more thankful to Michael and Michelle for bringing First State Bank Mortgage and their experience with lending here and sharing it with us. You can connect with Michael or Michelle at their office located right in Deerbergs and Osage Beach or via email at teamlasson@fsbfinancial.com. We have more episodes coming, so be sure to tune back in on Wednesdays and like and subscribe to our pages for the latest updates. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, or on Key Radio 89.3 FM in Osage Beach. If you are looking for fun things happening at the lake, extra fun content from our podcast, or open house information, be sure to check us out on Facebook. And remember to always grow, thrive, and inspire, and we'll see you soon.